let's look broader in week 14 for some more storylines and value bets. Omarion Hampton supposed to return this week. First time we've seen him since week 5 when we were discussing him as the breakout rookie sensation of the NFL. It's going to be good to see him back, Dave. What do you expect?
Yeah, hoping he does come back. He is still on IR. Jim Harbaugh is like one of the most classic coach speak guys, especially without Bill Belichick. He's like the heir apparent to the mysterious talk. Says the question will be answered as the week unfolds. But what I can tell you is he's on track and looking good. So directly from Harbaugh, I don't know what that means. You figure it out. But either way, if he plays, Kimani Vidal is not going to go away. He's filled in admirably, serving as a workhorse, 3 games over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. The only games he saw single-digit carries were complete blowouts in which they were abandoning the run. So I would expect a really split backfield upon Hampton's return, whether it's this week or even next. Probably not firing him up in fantasy if you're waiting on him unless you absolutely need him or something. I just think you don't know what you're going to get, and it's something to avoid. He gets a 33% TD probability to Vidal's 28. Neither is projecting for more than 34 rushing yards against an Eagles defense that is, I'm going to assume, going to try very hard to not give up a repeat performance of 250 yards and 2 TDs to running backs of last week. We also talked about how we like the Eagles in this spot on Tuesday to win the game. Should be a little easier for them to control this. Herbert's listed as day-to-day recovering from hand surgery, so there's more questions beyond just Hampton here. And if the game gets out of hand early for the Chargers, I just speculate that they'll default to giving high-volume touches to their rookie who's returning from an ankle injury, which is a really rough injury for a running back to have in the first place. And, I like Vidal for a TD more in this one anyway, and I feel like his odds wouldn't be plus 330 if Hampton wasn't coming back, but I can't imagine the books know if Hampton's coming back or not. The guy is still sitting on IR, so some really good value that you might be able to scoop up on. And if Hampton's ruled out, it's going to probably drop to like 180, 190. So we have an edge on that. Definitely something that we're worth looking at. What was I going to say? Sorry. I just think it's a really generous. Hampton's plus 180. I see really generous odds for a guy who's literally right now still sitting on IR and his QB is questionable after hand surgery. So I wish we had more clarity on this situation. I'd love to talk about it more, but our model is not projecting a big day for the Chargers running backs. And I just think with the way health and game script and stuff could be, it's probably indicative of what we're going to see on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, a lot up in the air there for sure. But good to see him back. If we are correct that he's returning, he's one of the more electric players in all of NFL to watch. I enjoyed him greatly in the first month of the season and just hoping to be able to watch Omarion Hampton again. Next up, we got the Colts and the Jags with some pretty serious divisional implications here. How about a 1 p.m. Colts-Jaguars game as a marquee matchup? If you banked on that in week 14, kudos to you, Dave. Are you excited for this one?
Yeah, of course. I had this on my card as the circled matchup for the entire NFL season. But no, the Colts really need a win here. They could fall even further back in this division. Just a couple weeks ago, they were favored. They were basically a split favorite, plus 140 to 145 for the Jags. The Dimers model has been on the Jags all year, and now we put the Colts at just 35.2% to win the AFC South. Jags at 40%. Even the Texans are at like 27.5, creeping up on the Colts. We gassed them up a little bit, but I fear we may be seeing the downfall of like one of the harshest downfalls of a team in some time here. The Colts are kind of in free fall. So hopefully you grab that value we talked about on the Jags to win the division last week. 52% for the Jags to cover in this game. It's plus 2, 54% under 47.5, which I think I like. Haven't done a ton of research into, that part of this game, mostly looking at prop angles and stuff, but real slim 2.2% edge on the under. So the model does have a bit of a lean there. But you got Daniel Jones literally playing on a broken leg. Fractured fibula is a broken leg. Okay. And is reverting a bit to the old Daniel Jones we know and have come to love. So just kind of a lot in the air for them. The Jags get the games done dirty, but they've been getting it done. And it's been a quiet run for Jonathan Taylor lately. Do project him for a big game, almost 100 yards, 67% for a touchdown. But I don't know. I mean, it's been a couple quiet games for him since the Berlin game where he went absolutely nuclear with like 250 and 3 touchdowns. But those 2 quiet games are enough to make him no longer even the offensive player of the year favorite. So I really think they're going to get back to using him, not for the sake of winning an award, but he's the key to their wins. It shouldn't be a surprise that when he doesn't score, they lose the game. They only one of their wins had a Jonathan Taylor scoreless outing in it. So should be a lot of JT here. He is still the MVP, at least of this team, if not the league. And I think the little slide here just further cements that point. Looking at the Jags side, maybe a rebound game for Etienne, projecting only 57 yards, but a 43% TD probability compared to just 28 yards and 34% for Tootin, who vultured him last week and is getting a bit more work in this backfield. But model does seem to be liking Etienne a bit more this week, and I sure hope so because I will have him fired up in a key number 1 overall seed deciding matchup in fantasy in the Dimers Work League fantasy. So I'm really going to need an Etienne game here.
Who are you trying to shut out?
We got Damo. Damian is the only other guy in contention, I believe, for the number 1 seed this week. So it's up to he and I to lock that down. But the whole playoffs are set, so I'm in. But I just want that number 1 seed.
Major implications. You love to see it. And I apologize to Colts fans because I cursed your team. I called you a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and ever since it's been free fall. So tough.
One thing I will just add here is if you could find the line, they don't have one up right now. It might be impossible, but I would slam the under on Daniel Jones rushing. He's got just 5 games with double-digit yards this season, just 4 carries over his past 2 games. Had like a spike week of 57 yards 3 weeks ago, but I think that was the Berlin game. And broken leg.
Yep. Not easy to run with a broken leg. Just like it's not easy to podcast with strep throat, Dave, but some of us can do it still. Can you believe that?
This guy can.
Every single step. We just take tiny steps. All right. Those are some things to look forward to. Lots to look forward to here as the stretch run of the NFL season continues.